Hello and welcome to the second module of the Digital Literacy course. In this module, we will talk about the digital divide in the EU. The EU has developed a range of policies and initiatives to increase digital skills in both the workforce and consumers. In Europe, more than 90% of professional roles require a basic level of digital knowledge, just as they require basic literacy and numeracy skills. The use of digital is spreading across all sectors, from business to transport and even to farming. Yet, around 42% of Europeans lack basic digital skills, including 37% of those in the workforce. You can already notice from this map which are the regions of Europe that present a higher percentage of people with digital skills. That is why the EU is investing in programs to train Europeans and expand the talent pool in Europe, so we can be confident about our future in the digital world. These programs include the European Skills Agenda, the Digital Education Action Plan, and the Digital Skills and Jobs Coalition. The European Skills Agenda is a 5-year plan to help individuals and businesses to develop more and better skills and to put them to use by strengthening sustainable competitiveness as set out in the European Green Deal, ensuring social fairness, putting into practice the first principle of the European Pillar of Social Rights, which is access to education, training, and lifelong learning for everybody everywhere in the EU, and finally, building resilience to react to crises based on the lessons learned during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Digital Education Action Plan is a renewed European Union policy initiative that sets out a common vision of high-quality, inclusive and accessible digital education in Europe and aims to support the adaptation of the education and training systems of member states to the digital age. The action plan, adopted on 14 September 2020, is a call for greater cooperation at European level on digital education to address the challenges and opportunities of the COVID-19 pandemic and to present opportunities for the education and training community, policymakers, academia, and researchers on national, EU, and international level. Europe also lacks skilled ICT specialists to fill the growing number of job vacancies in all sectors of the economy. A crucial issue underpinning this is the need to modernize our education and training systems, which currently do not prepare young people sufficiently for the digital economy and society, and to move to a lifelong learning approach so that people can adapt their skill sets throughout their lifetimes as needed. To help address the skills gap in Europe, the European Digital Skills and Jobs Platform was launched under the Connecting Europe Facility program. The platform aims to offer a number of resources, including insights into EU and national initiatives and actions in digital skills and jobs, training opportunities and career development support, good practices, expert advice, resources and tools, data, research-based facts and figures, funding opportunities and financial instruments, thriving interactive community spaces, and news, opinions, and events. This is the link you can use to access to the Digital Skills Jobs platform. From this data, we can notice that at 79% each, the Netherlands and Finland scored the highest on basic overall digital skills. Ireland is next with 70%. Romania, Bulgaria, and Poland show the lowest share of basic overall digital skills at 28%, 31%, and 43% respectively. Eurostat says digital skills are a key indicator in the European Commission's Digital Decade initiative. This outlines the EU's vision for digital transformation by 2030. Goals include at least 80% of EU citizens aged between 16 to 74 having at least basic digital skills by 2030. Now let's give a definition to the expression digital divide. Digital divide refers to the disparities among people, such as those living in a developed and developing world, concerning access to and the use of information and communication technologies, particularly computer hardware, software, and the Internet. Individuals within societies that lack economic resources to build ICT infrastructure do not have adequate digital literacy, which means that their digital skills are limited. The divide can be explained by Max Weber's social stratification theory, which focuses on access to production rather than ownership of the capital. The former becomes access to ICT so that an individual can accomplish interaction and produce information or create a product, and that without it he or she cannot participate in the learning, collaboration, and production to processes. Digital literacy and digital access have become increasingly important competitive differentiators for individuals using the Internet meaningfully. In an article by Jen Shredy called "The Great Class Wedge and the Internet's Hidden Costs," she discusses how social class can affect digital literacy. This creates a digital divide. Research published in 2012 found that the digital divide, as defined by access to information technology, does not exist amongst youth in the United States. Young people report being connected to the Internet at rates of 94–98%. There remains, however, a civic opportunity gap where youth from poorer families and those attending lower socioeconomic status schools are less likely to have opportunities to apply their digital literacy. The digital divide is also defined as emphasizing the distinction between the haves and have-nots, and presented all data separately for rural, urban, and central city categories. Also, existing research on the digital divide reveals that existence of personal categorical inequalities between young and old people, and additional interpretation identified the gap between technology accessed by youth outside and inside the classroom. Digital rights are an individual's rights that allow them freedom of expression and opinion in an online setting, with roots centered on human theoretical and practical rights. It encompasses the individual's privacy rights when using the Internet, and is essentially responsible for how an individual uses different technologies and how content is distributed and mediated. Government officials and policymakers use digital rights as a springboard for enacting and developing policies and laws in order to obtain rights online the same way we obtain rights in real life. Private organizations who possess their own online infrastructures also develop rights specific to their property. In today's world, most, if not all, materials have shifted into an online setting, and public policy has had a major influence in supporting this movement. Going beyond traditional academics, ethical rights such as copyright, citizenship, and conversation can be attributed to digital literacy because tools and materials nowadays can be easily copied, borrowed, stolen, and repurposed, as literacy is collaborative and interactive, especially in a networked world. Digital citizenship refers to the right to participate in society online. It is connected to the notion of state-based citizenship, which is determined by the country or region in which one was born, as well as the idea of being a dutiful citizen who participates in the electoral process and online through mass media. A literate digital citizen possesses the skills to read, write, and interact with online communities via screens and has an orientation for social justice. Through the various digital skills and literacy one gains, one is able to effectively solve social problems which might arise through social platforms. Additionally, digital citizenship has three online dimensions, which are higher wages, democratic participation, and better communication opportunities which arise from the digital skills acquired. Digital citizenship also refers to online awareness and the ability to be safe and responsible online. This idea came from the rise of social media in the past decade, which has enhanced global connectivity and faster interaction. The idea of a good digital citizen directly correlates with knowledge of how to react to instances of predatory online behavior, such as cyberbullying. Mark Prensky invented and popularized the terms digital natives and digital immigrants to describe respectively an individual born into the digital age and one adopting the appropriate skills later in life. These two groups of people have had different interactions with technology since birth, which is a generational gap. We are at the end of the second module.